Hi, friends. Welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and welcome to the beginning of my 2026 reading challenge. In a previous video, I selected and gift wrapped 50 books from my physical TBR that I want to read in 2026, and they are in a variety of wrapping papers based on genre. The Silver Snowflakes is sci-fi fantasy. The maybe could be spooky forest is horror. The red polka dots is romance. And the wrapped presents is miscellaneous, nonfiction, literary fiction, classics, that sort of thing. So throughout the year, I'm going to be doing updates and letting you know what it is I'm opening, what I've read, how my progress is going. This is going to be January's update. I'm going to select a few of these books to unwrap and put on my TBR for the month. I'm about halfway through January, but I've finished a lot of things that I needed to read this month, so I'm about ready to dive into some of these guys. And then I'm going to tell you about the sort of book buying ban I'm putting myself on. It's not a full ban. I guess you would call it a low buy, but there are rules. Give me 1 second and I will be back to talk about it. For January, I decided to pick one book from each of the categories. I don't know what all of them are. I'm pretty sure I know what this one is though, because I kind of specifically put it near the top because it's one I want to read sooner than later. But really what I'm hoping is that I have audiobooks available of at least a couple of them because I am out of audiobooks for review at the moment. So let's go ahead and unwrap these and see what I ended up with. First is from my miscellaneous TBR. I actually might have an idea of what this is. I think this might be a book that was on my, on my challenge TBR last year that I never got to, but I picked it because it was small. So maybe it'll be a quick read. The Bleeding of the Stone by Ibrahim Al-Koni. This is like a modern classic in translation, a moving short novel, ably blending reality, fantasy, and mysticism. So we're going to try that out. That sounds great. Next is horror. What is this? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Oh, okay. I have this one on audio. Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White. Perfect. This is trans horror that is also about class struggle, I think. I generally really like his books, so we're going to read that. Sci-fi fantasy. I'm pretty sure this is the sequel to The Will of the Many. And I'm right. Yay. The Strength of the Few. I am so excited to read this, so that's why I was like, let me pull this. I do also have it on audio. Lastly, our romance. Not sure what this one is. Let's find out. Oh, okay, good. I need to read this. Along Came Amor by Alexis Daria. I've been meaning to read this since last year, so happy to have this on here. No strings, no feelings, no falling in love. It's supposed to be a fling. Then of course it's not. So those are the 4 challenge books that I'm going to be trying to read in January. If I get to more, great, but I'm going to aim for 4 for this month. If I get to unwrap more, I'll let you know, but that's what we're starting out with. Hopefully it'll be fun. Let's talk briefly about the low buy rules that I'm putting myself on. So my goal this year is to really significantly read down my physical TBR, and I'm doing a few different things to try to help with that. One of them is this reading challenge, which has 50 books from my physical TBR on it. Another thing I'm doing is just for this year, I am pausing on having specific benchmarks for diversity. I think what I might do instead is try to aim to read a certain number of books by someone who's not like me in some kind of substantial way instead of getting more granular with it, because I specifically want to read down my TBR, and I think I will still read pretty diversely, but that's just like one less thing to worry about for this year while I'm doing the challenge. And then lastly, I'm putting myself on a low buy. So it's not a full book buying ban, but it is extremely limited. So here is what I'm allowed to buy. If necessary, I can buy the book for my in-person romance book club that I go to every month. I'm supporting my local indie bookstore, part of a book club thing that I'm a part of. That I'm not going to worry about. I can buy that because I know I'm going to read it. And then I can buy one other book per month that I haven't already read. So if I'm buying, say, a physical copy of something I had read digitally and I just wanted it on my shelves, that's fine, but I can't add more than one book to my TBR every month from purchasing. Part of this is I know I get a lot of publisher mail, but I'm hoping that at least by limiting my purchases, it will therefore also limit how big my TBR gets. So we'll see how this goes. My plan is to do monthly check-ins that are maybe a little vlog style. I will be back once I've read one of the books. Editing Bethany here. I did not end up doing this vlog style. Just a heads up, I explain this in the next clip of the video, but my life just ended up being too busy. I don't think vlog style is going to work for me for these videos, which is fine. The other thing that I wanted to mention, because I'm talking here about the low buy, is how did I do in January? It is the last day of the month, and so far the only book I have purchased is the book for my in-person romance book club, which I've actually already read because we're doing book club early in the month. It is Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas. I have not used my other one book add to the TBR yet this month. I am going to let it roll over though, so I will have that available and I'll update you guys as I buy things, if I buy things, but I'm trying to be very cautious and I feel really good about the fact that I haven't bought anything that I haven't already read and added it to my TBR in January. I have gotten some publisher mail, but so far, so good. Hi, friends. It has been a minute since I last filmed. It's been a few weeks. I have finished all 4 of the books that I got for my January TBR, and I've decided with the new job, with it being winter, trying to do regular vlog clips is just not gonna work out for me. So here's what we're gonna do. I am gonna wrap up the 4 books that I read from my challenge TBR for January, and then we are gonna look at the books I'm selecting for February from this TBR. The goal with this being, moving forward, that you get a monthly check-in video where I talk about the books from the TBR I've read, how many I have left to read for the year, and the TBR for the following month. And maybe if I unwrap some extra books at some point during the month because I'm feeling really motivated, we'll throw that in as well. But for January, I just read the 4 books that I had picked. First up, for The Strength of the Few by James Islington, I've got to tell you, I did not enjoy this nearly as much as I did the first book. It's still a good book, but it is very different and there's a lot going on. I personally think there's too much going on. I loved Will of the Many. It was one of my favorite books of the year. This is still good. I still want to continue with the series. There's really interesting things happening, but without going into spoilery reasons for it, it is divided up into 3 different timelines with very different world building and things happening. And for me, it was too much. I feel like there was too much going on in this book. It was harder to keep track of what the characters were doing, what was going on, and why. I wish this had been condensed. I feel like even if we had just diverged into 2 different timelines, it would have worked better for me. I did not love the fact that there were so many things. That said, still a good book. Still really interesting, compelling world building things, interesting questions of morality as the characters sort of evolve. And we're left on a big cliffhanger at the end where I'm curious to see where it's going to take us. There's a lot of big reveals. There's some tragedy. It was good. Definitely very different from book 1. Book 1, we have a single timeline, a single perspective. It's super propulsive and fast paced. I think this does get bogged down by diverging into 3 different timelines of things that are happening. I think it's too much. I'm bummed because I thought this would be a favorite. I really wanted to love it. I still liked it. And again, I'll keep going with the series, but I just wish it had kept things a little simpler. I absolutely loved Along Came Amor. It was fantastic, very sexy, and an interesting take on a romance because you have a hookup that turns into what's supposed to be this no strings attached relationship that turns into more. And I think what's interesting about this is that our heroine is the one who doesn't want strings. She's the one who is like, no, I don't want anyone to know about you. I don't want my family to know about you because they're too intrusive. She's a divorcee. She is always trying to be perfect, always trying to be who her family wants her to be. And even though this man that she met at a bar randomly and hooked up with, she is falling for him and he's amazing, that's kind of the issue behind it. I loved it. It's very steamy, very romantic, and something a little bit different. So definitely would recommend this one. The Bleeding of the Stone. I don't know how I feel about this book. It is a little bit speculative. It's set in the 1930s in the Middle East in a desert, following characters who live away from society, and there are tourists who come who are looking at these old etchings, drawings, whatever they are, on rock. And there's this one guy who's obsessed with eating meat constantly, who is looking for these supposedly extinct, maybe kind of magical goats. And it's weird. It's a little slow at times. I'm not sure what to take away from it, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's interesting. I feel like from a sort of historical cultural perspective, there's some interesting things happening here. And it is, I think, trying to say something about consumption and appropriation of other people's culture and cultural heritage and the way that that's been done in the Middle East. So I think there's some really interesting thematic things that's exploring here, but the specific ways it does it are sometimes a little strange. And for a book that is not very long, it took me a while to read. It is on the slow side. So not a bad book. I'm glad that I read it. I think it's doing some interesting things, but I don't know that I would necessarily go immediately reach for something else by this author. Maybe check it out if it sounds up your alley. And finally, I read Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White, and it was very, very good. It is quite different from any of his other books, although to be fair, his other books are also very different from each other. So does he even have a theme? Yeah, he writes horror featuring trans characters, but aside from that, they're all quite different from each other. This one is set in rural West Virginia, and it follows a trans teen boy who is beaten badly and left for dead by the son of the local sheriff, as well as some other kids from the school. And maybe he wants revenge. And then there's a lot of complexities with this blood feud with his family that get woven into it. There's some paranormal elements to it. It's really good. And I think one key part of this is wanting to remind people that leftist ideas are not just for urban areas, that there are poor working class people with leftist ideas for very different reasons. And people make a lot of assumptions about what someone from rural West Virginia would be like that are not always accurate. I think it's an interesting layered book by somebody from this area who wants to speak about those things, by a trans person who grew up in one of these areas. And I feel like this could be such a great book to pick up for queer teens who are living in more rural areas and are really looking for representation and looking to see themselves in a book. I think it's really, really good. It does end fairly happily, even if there is a lot of violence along the way. But yeah, another hit from Andrew Joseph White. I feel like all his books are great. So those are the 4 books from my TBR that I read in January. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm glad I got through all of these, and it was kind of a mix of genres, which was nice. So far, so good. That is 4 down, 46 to go. For February, I decided to pick 5 books from a range of genres. I picked like 3 really small ones I'm hoping I can get through quickly, and then a couple that are a little bit bigger. I'm pretty sure I know what a couple of these are, but the others I have no idea. So we're going to open them and see what's going to be on my TBR for February. So this month I picked 2 romances. I've got a novella. I'm pretty sure I know what both of these are, actually. I'm not sure what the other ones are, but I'm pretty sure I know what both of these are. Let's open this. I think this is Quicksilver by Callie Hart, which I want to try. So, am I right? Yeah, that's the one. I have heard mixed things about this, so I don't know if it's going to be my thing or if it's going to be too dark for me. I'm not like a big dark romance person, so there's a chance I come back and be like, I DNF'd it. It just isn't my thing. Or maybe I'll read it and be like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I love it. I don't know, who can say. We'll see, but we're going to try it this month. The other romance one, I'm pretty sure is a novella that I started and thought was adorable, and I want to finish it. Yeah. This is Sing Anyway by Anita Kelly. It's got a plus size heroine and a non-binary love interest. It's a short little romance, super cute in the first couple chapters that I had read when I was seeing if I wanted to keep it. So I don't have that much to read. I think I'll get through this really fast. Next, I got a little one from my miscellaneous stack. I'm pretty sure this is a little cloth-bound classic. I have a couple that rolled over from my reading challenge from last year that I never finished, and I want to get through them. Yes, that is what this is. This is The Ballad of the Sad Cafe by Carson McCullers. I don't know anything about this book or what it's about. I can tell you it was published in 1951. And it is very short. So another one I expect I'll get through pretty quick. Next up is horror. I have no idea what this is. Let's see. What is this? Oh, yay. Okay, horror, mystery, and thriller. This should be fun. The Farmhouse by Chelsea Conrad. Every woman who's lived on this farm has died. Emily just moved in. When Emily's mother dies, it's time for her and her husband Josh to finally leave San Francisco. A farm in rural Nebraska is everything they want for a fresh start. Clear skies, low costs, and distance from the grief back home. They should have asked why the farm was for sale. 3 years ago, a teenage girl went missing from the farm. Soon after, the girl's mother mysteriously died. The deeper Emily digs, the more stories she finds of women with a connection to her new home who've met their own dark ends, etc. Sounds like a good time. I'm looking forward to reading that one. Lastly, sci-fi fantasy. I may actually know what this is. I think this might be like another novella that I got. Yes. Okay. I got this in a mystery grab bag from this company that does special editions of books. This is The Last Dragoners of Beaubazar by Indra Das. So it's like a South Asian inspired fantasy novella with dragons. Sounds fun. And there you have it, my reading challenge TBR for February. Hopefully I can get through all 5 of these. Maybe I'll feel inspired to do more, but probably this is adequate. And you know, the little ones we should get through pretty quickly. Hopefully the series is fun for y'all. Talk to me in the comments down below and let me know any of your thoughts about the books that I'm reading. And for question of the day, I would love to hear, how is your reading going in the new year? Are you doing any reading challenges? Are you trying to read down your TBR? This has made it more fun for me. I think the gift wrapping part makes it fun, and then doing updates makes it feel a little more interesting than just generally trying to read down my TBR, so I like this as a way of doing the challenge. Hopefully you enjoy following along. Talk to me in the comments down below. If you reach this point in the video, give me an emoji for a disappointed face, because I'm a little disappointed with the strength of the few. It's not a bad book. Again, it's good. Like a 4-star, very solid, but I'm disappointed it's not a favorite, y'all. I am a little bummed. So give me a bummed emoji face in the comments down below, or leave a comment. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.